It's always nice to tie in a couple different colors too. You don't have to use the same colors for all your borders. So let's try this thing out. Okay, a color that looks nice with purple is pink. So I'm going to try pink. And I can do a number of things. I can do another line, so I have a border that's got two lines. I can spray a two-tone. So you see the pink and the lavender together. You can't, if you hold the gun back far enough, you can't really see where one ends and the next color begins. That's just a way of tinting two colors together. You have to be careful which colors you use together. Some colors don't blend, such as green and pink, orange and blue, because they're on the opposite sides of the color wheel. It's always good to refer to a color wheel if you're not sure what colors can be used together. Now I'm going to try a different border on another edge of this board. Well, I'll turn it here. I'll do an orange scallop border. See, I'm starting out with a fine line like that. Always run water through to make sure you get the old color out if you're going to go to the color that doesn't want to blend very well. In this case, I'm going to, I think I'll add pink. Okay, how about we try something with those dots on this border. I'm just going to use blue because it'll show up well next to the orange. I'm not going to overlap, I'm not going to overlap the orange and the blue. Intentionally, you'll see how the orange and the blue don't go together. It looks muddy. However, next to each other, the colors complement each other pretty well. And I'm using the dot technique that I showed you earlier, and it gives you a nice even dot. Almost it's starting to look like an Easter egg. Okay, do a little something different on this edge. Whoops. Always make sure your colors caps are tight, otherwise you'll have that happen. You don't want to have that happen on a cake. I'm going to spray a fine line of one shade of green. I'm going to use two of the same colors. I'm going to use actually a different color, a different shade of green. This is going to be forest green. Again, I'm going from a dark color to, I'm going to choose a lighter color over here. I definitely need to get the airbrush cleaned out now because that forest green will be the dominating color in there. And if I don't get that out of there, we're going to have a color that's not complementary. Okay. What I'm going to do is use a little yellow. I'm going to spray the background real light. Again, holding the airbrush back at a distance. And I'm going to pink. I'm gonna this would be the edge of the cake. I'm gonna keep it right over here. And you'll see where the pink and the yellow blend together, but again, you can't see where the pink ends and the yellow begins. By holding the airbrush back far enough, the colors just kind of blend together, versus using the two different shades of green. By keeping them close, the colors stayed separate. I'll try one last thing on this side of the board. I'm gonna, because I have black and I want to make it a very bold, distinct color, I'm going over it again. And what I'm going to do with that is just make a bright, festive polka dot border on the inside of the black. There's no rules here. I'm just going to pick whatever colors I feel like going with. Of course, if you're doing a cake, you may be trying to apply whatever colors the customer may have, specific colors they want you to use, then you would use what they request. I'm going to hold the airbrush back farther versus keeping it close as I did on here. No need to count how many dots. You just want to do it with enough different colors until the space is filled up or is filled in as you wish it to be. After all, you're the artist. And I think there's room for one last color. I'll make it purple. So this gives us some different ideas, some different techniques and methods that can be used, and a nice variety of borders. These skills also apply to airbrushing in general. Even when you're doing a stencil or freehand, all of these skills end up being utilized in just about anything you do in airbrushing. Next, I'm going to take a new board and we're going to do a stencil and a whole border to go with the stencil, something that'll match the whole picture.